so that we can fulfill the call of God on our lives. So, those of you who are seeing this come up in your feed and you're part of Born to Influence and you would love to hop into the best time of your week, come on in. I'm going to let people in the room now. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Joseph. Where did he go? He's coming on in. I'm going to open in prayer. Father, we thank you so much. We thank you, Lord, for the incredible privilege we have to be able to partner with heaven, that we get to be the people of God. We get to be the very ones who you have called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We have a transformation that only we can provide. And so, Lord, help us to go through that learning curve because we know that learners are earners. And so we commit to that process of leaning in and growing in our skill set, growing in our tool set, and growing in the ways that you've called us in our mindset. Help us to receive your word and to receive the words of mentors to be able to help us to lean in and get competent. The only way we have true confidence is by going through the competence cycle. So, Lord, we thank you for that ability to master skills, to be able to earn the income. We know that we have to be, to do, to have, that you set that in motion. You want us to be fruitful. You want us to do multiplication, and you want us to have dominion. So, Lord, we lean in, we receive all the best that you have for us today. In Jesus' precious name, amen and amen and amen. Well, good morning, everybody. Excited to see you guys. We may have a smaller group today, being Christmas holidays. Would love to know from everyone here, what is the best present that you ever received? Other than Jesus, okay? I know everybody's going to put Jesus in the chat. It's like kids at Sunday school, when they don't know the answer. You ask them a question about Noah's Ark and they give the answer, Jesus. Everybody says Jesus. So besides Jesus, which we're all very thankful for, what's the best gift you were ever given? Put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. Thank you, Lori. I have a plethora of glasses, and I would love to act like I was so organized that in the glasses realm that I had all these beautiful glasses for every day of the week. It's more that I just leave my glasses everywhere. And I am so intellectual that I am constantly just thinking. I'm thinking and I'm connected, right? So I connect. I was away with my girls for a couple days and it was so incredible. And I probably had 4 pairs of glasses with me. I don't have any of them with me anymore. So I'm just being real with you. We're going to keep it real and crispy this morning. I learned the word crispy. My girls, we had some Mexican food and they ordered a Coca-Cola, a Mexican Coca-Cola, sorry. And they said, it's so crispy. So we're going to have a crispy morning today. Thank you, Lori. What's the best gift, Lori, that you've ever been given as a present?
Mm, wow. Hmm.
It doesn't have to be overly
Hard.
fancy.
That's hard.
It is hard, isn't it?
Um, I think the best gift that I love at Christmas is having the ability that I used to cook for my family and them coming over and
Mm,
decorating the house so that all the grandkids just can't wait to play and touch everything. That's
mm.
important to us. Um,
So quality time's probably a big love
yeah,
language of yours.
it is. It is. And my mom always came and spent 2 months with us, beginning December 1st. And she would
Mm.
come and spend the 2 months. And that was really, really a special time. We would cook like crazy together. Because I grew up that
Mm.
way. So um,
There's
that's
something about that, isn't there? Like
mhm,
just being present,
mhm,
right? I think we learn a lot about presence by being like present with Jesus, by being present with others
mhm.
and being able to cook. I'm really thankful for that too. And what was your favorite meal to make as a family?
Oh gosh.
It's okay. I know
Not
you probably have
something
time.
crazy, but I will use this memory. Every single Sunday night growing up, my dad would push my mom and I out of the kitchen.
Mm.
All the way up until college, he would do this, and he would make dinner.
Aw.
And it would be all sorts of things that were in the refrigerator. And he would make a giant salad and all these different fun things. And we were not allowed to be in there or clean up. And that's still a
You hear
really
that? So I think you
good
have to say it
memory.
again, men. The women weren't
Yes.
allowed to be in the kitchen
That's
and they
right.
weren't allowed to clean up. I think we could get a shirt made out of that. My
Yes,
goodness.
yes,
That in
yes.
itself is a gift. Even if they're making the
Yes,
absolute worst, if they're making beans and wieners, like
that's
I would
right.
never want to eat it, but the fact that they
Yep.
were making it and they were
But
cleaning
he
up,
did it.
wouldn't that just be worth it right there?
Yep. Yep. And he was so proud of it. And he would carry it and we would eat in a totally different room than the dining room. So it was
Hmm.
special.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that so much. So, those of you who are arriving live or are seeing this replay, we are just talking about some best presents ever. Hello, Nicole. So, Nicole, you're on camera. So, guys, if you're not on camera, Joseph's on camera. Joseph, what's the best gift you've ever been given? Is it a BB gun? Oh, you're muted, my friend. You're muted, my friend.
I didn't get the mute. Okay, here we are. Okay, I think probably as a kid, like a bicycle. I remember my uncle. I can't remember if it was a birthday or Christmas. I think it was my birthday. I got a skateboard. That was pretty cool, like a custom made skateboard that he made, my uncle, and so that was pretty cool. So I think that was actually my birthday. But it's amazing how you can't remember any of the presents you got. It's like I've been doing this for how many years and I can't remember any of them. But those are the ones that stand out.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and again, it can be different things, right, for everybody. Of just memories and how we associate. So thank you, Joseph. Nicole,
Mhm.
what was your best gift that you were given, you believe, other than Jesus? An actual
Right.
gift, a real thing.
Mine had to be, so my mom said, I don't think it's quite the truth, but she said that she was allergic to dogs. So we couldn't get like any animals with fur when we were little. And so this one birthday, she was out of town, and my dad was like, yeah, you can get something. It just can't be fur. And so
Can't be alive, probably
yeah.
either. No, nothing alive that your mother's going to find out about, right?
So we went in the pet store and I picked out these cockatiels, and they were just simply the joy of my heart for a long time. So yeah, I had that cockatiel
Oh,
for about 15. Yeah, I think it was 18, closer to 18 years. And yeah, that I had to say was like one of my best gifts ever.
I love that. And did your mom get mad? Or was she okay
So
because it wasn't a dog?
she was definitely in shock. I don't know if she had words for my dad afterwards. Like we were like, because in high school people were like, wait, you have what? Like, you
I
have
love
birds?
that.
Like, what black people have birds? So I was like, me. I mean, I loved my birds. They were great. Yeah.
I love that. That's so cute. April, I think you put something in the chat there, love. What was your favorite? What was your favorite gift? I don't know if April can hear. Maybe April cannot be on the
I'm
actual thing.
so
Oh, there
sorry,
you are.
guys.
You're
I have a
good.
terrible cold. I am a mess.
Don't worry at all. Just share quick and then you can
Yeah.
just listen and be blessed.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure I heard the question right.
Yeah, just your favorite gift
Oh,
that
favorite
you were
gift.
given over the
Oh,
years.
goodness. That's a hard one. Um, Well, I would say it was my engagement ring many, many, many years ago. That was probably the
Hmm.
best. Yeah.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
that
Life changing.
definitely is, yeah, right? And
Yeah.
it is a beautiful thing. And it's
Yes.
interesting. Like I love asking this question because you're all familiar with the Gary Chapman book, The Five Love Languages. And
Hmm.
I always like to, I say, pay attention to what other people's love language is, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. Everyone here, guys, and everybody listening by replay or live, it is okay if you like gifts.
Yeah.
You don't have to spiritualize everything. In
Right.
fact, April, I just took a couple of my daughters. So I have a number of daughters and took two of them away. They're both just kind of wrapping up one's in Police Academy, who turned 21 Page, and then Phoebe's
Wow.
at University of Toronto finishing. Four of my kids are finishing things. I have a daughter who's doing her PhD. And so they're all studying, but took two of my daughters away. And let me tell you, if you take any girl away shopping and say, would you like to buy a dress? Do you want to go into a store and pick anything out? I don't think anyone would say, no, no,
Right.
no, no, we won't do that today. Right? Let's just peel potatoes. Let's just collect some cans, right? So we have seasons and it's good to give and it's good to bless others. But those of you who took my money mindset course, God created abundance to first bless us. So I love that, April, just being able to receive, right? Being able to go, wow, that man loves me and I'm worthy of his love. And this ring is that example of that. It's that token to say he loves me. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that.
No, no
It's
problem. Thank you.
beautiful. Yeah. Tracy, the CD player when you were 12, girl, come on. What do you know what was the CD that you bought? Do you remember?
Oh, no. I know that I played Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby
Oh
a
yeah,
million
come
times
on.
because my sister hated it.
And you're like, I am just going to play this from the rooftops,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Ice, ice, baby. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, come on. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
which of
good
course
song,
freaks my children out that I listen to that and other music that I'm like, oh yeah, I know that song. They're like, you? Yes.
right? Well,
Yes, I was an
maybe.
unsanctified teenager.
Oh,
Yes.
come on. I still listen to stuff like that. I love cranking up tunes. Is anybody else here like me? Okay, come on. Like I would say, like driving fast and playing loud tunes. That's like for me right there. That's my quadrant I have to really kind of work on. But I don't really want to work on it. Anybody else don't want to work on it? Like I love cranking those tunes. I have a routine, and so my family will tell you this, Christian will agree, is come Friday night, I am like, as soon as I'm done work, which you guys know that it's always in and through me, but I'm just saying like officially kind of let that go. Often I'll go and do something fun. And I like to have a date night with my husband. And then I like to have people over and I like to listen to loud music. So for me, just cranking those tunes, if I can, open up my sunroof for the Porsche, and I just love that. And, put my arms through the air, which, you can't always do in the cold weather here. But yeah, that's always a ton of fun. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for sharing that. Well, gang, I am excited. So Carolyn's joined us too. I know it can be a little bit of a challenging, just like scheduling wise this time of year. And so I want to have kind of conversations around, and of course, if you have other questions you have around your business, please let us know. If you want to share kind of your three wins in the chat, as well as a question you may have for me today that I want to help you to be able to create the momentum and to keep increasing the momentum as you're moving into over the holidays. That even if you're not necessarily coming to things or getting involved as much in networking, that we just want to look at and what are the most important things to keep having momentum so that after the holidays, you don't find that you don't have any leads coming in, or that you haven't set any appointments for the new year, or that you haven't already figured out what the next year is going to look like. Those of you who are watching and have not watched my preloaded year, how to plan out your 2025 because your cash flow follows your calendar, send me a message or pop it here right in the live feed that says preloaded year, please, and we'll get that to you. You want to plan out your year because cash flow follows your calendar. But let's look at some of the things that are going to, increase our momentum as we go along. And you heard me say before that when we take a look at our content calendar and we're creating our content, that there is the triangle or our genius model that shares the different components of what it is that we do, who we help, what are the problems we solve, what are the solutions that we bring, as well as we want to share a little bit about our character. Now, and I say character, I am talking about like our integrity and who we are as a person. But I'm also saying like our character, if you think of yourself like a superhero, if you think of yourself like Spider-Man, and you're thinking about the life of Peter Parker, and you're thinking about the life of Spider-Man, and you think about his day-to-day life and his lair and where he lives, and I love the original Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. Is anybody else a Tobey Maguire fan? I love that one. I think it's excellent. And he's being chased down by his landlord. He's in love with the girl next door. So there's these stories that are going on, and I think sometimes when we are, for you guys, you're mostly. Some of you have now scaled past 10, 15K months, but most of you are in that getting to the place of 0 to 30K months. And in that, there's a lot of dirty reps. Can I get some witness here? There's a lot of dirty reps. There's a lot of learning how to do the sales. There's a lot of learning, and there's a learning curve, right? And you want to keep going. You want to master the learning so that you can start earning, right? Learners are earners. And we want to be able to continue this momentum. So I want to help you to start to think about, instead of clocking out, which can be our tendency a little bit. Is anybody with me? Like when you're building your business and then you have like an off day, you don't share on social. Or you're having a challenge with one of your kids, you don't share on social. You go away on holiday and you want some rest, and so you don't take pictures and share on social. So you don't want it to dominate your life. But what are some ways that you can begin to think about? I call it the emotional quotient, that EQ, or the fourth side of the triangle, that will help your person, your signature client, your prospect, to get a real sense of some other aspects of you. Because people buy coaches, not coaching. And they love that your signature person actually loves, and I really appreciate, like Lori, I'll highlight you for that for a moment, but you were really excited with me about Paige's 21st birthday. You were really celebrating that here I was, at the Millcroft Inn and Spa, where Price Pritchard wrote U Squared, which is a phenomenal book. If any of you want a good, it's 35 pages, quick read. I reread it a few times a year, minimum. But here I was being able to just take part, I was taking pictures and just, so again, it can be I call it light tasking, right? You're not, sitting down, you're not like having to schedule out time to create your content, but you're just starting to think about what are some other aspects of myself. So maybe you have a cozy corner where you write. Maybe just like Lori was sharing about family and getting together and cooking together, maybe you could post some of the things that are about that. Like here's our family recipe. Here is a tradition we have, or some games that we play. As I'm sharing some of that, what are some things that are coming to mind for you? If you want to pop that in the chat, what are some things that are coming to mind for you? So instead of totally removing yourself and say, I'm going to enjoy the holiday, which I want you to enjoy the holiday. Everyone who's listening, I want you to enjoy the holiday. My question is, what could you add into your day around posting in groups, posting in your personal page, if you have a business page, posting on Instagram, maybe whatever other platforms. To get to 15K months, you only need one form of social media, 20K months, even 30K months, even 100K months. But wherever you're at in social media, what could you share with your person that is going to create some relationship glue? We know that our person needs know and like and trust to be able to buy from us. And it's not just about here's my model, here's my model, here's the thing I do, here's the thing I do. Most people buy emotionally and then they back it up logically. So let's think about what are some of those things you could share? Are there some things that are coming to your mind you want to share? Raise your hand. Is there something that's coming to your mind that you think this would really be a good time to share? What would that look like? So, Tiffany, I don't know if you can chat, but I think especially because around organization, and this is one of the most stressful times of the year, right? So, you're a person who's struggling with a cluttered mind and a cluttered home. What are some things that you could post or write or take pictures or do a story about that would like make that heart connection with your person?
Mm, I think um, doing some things that would bring some peace and calm to the season, like a soaking or like we're uh, be some personal things that I've done recently as far as like purging the old toys to make room for new gifts and just things that I've done personally within my home to give them some ideas on what to do.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, that's excellent, you know, um, as well as, yeah, again, just around organizing things so that your person feels like, okay, this is doable. So again, that combination, like you're saying, like the soaking or a prayer, or even just encouragement around, you know, taking the time, setting the time aside to be able to have the conversation, you know, with people, or saying how to say no over the holidays, of
Yes.
making some good decisions about, okay, this really is a like this where it works well, but this is not really going to work for us, right? Or you know, one of the stresses, you know, of course, for women is saying yes to too many things, like wanting to have people over and wanting to go to functions, and then before you know it, and I'm sure you've experienced this more than a few times, Tiffany, is your kids are overtired. They're going to bed way too late. They're starting to get run down. They're going to bed without brushing their teeth, and they've just eaten like 16 candy canes, right? Like there's just
Yes.
like, right? There's this whole onslaught of things that start to happen. But maybe, you know, you could come up with like pictures of things, because part of it too is sometimes we don't even realize the things that we do. So, Tiffany, there may be some things like maybe you have a container in your car that has, you know, if you're going to go to in-laws and travel, you know, here's like a busy kit for kids, or, you know, pack your toothbrushes, you know, for those who have kids that are still in like diapers or need, you know, to wear, you know, something at night, like have all those things as extras in the car so that it doesn't become a big stress, you know? So,
Yeah, that's
um,
a great idea.
yeah, but you probably are doing a lot of these things sometimes, and all this is for all of you. The areas that we're really excellent in, we have to become more self-aware every day and more reflective to see the gift we have, which is part of the process of being able to then command the income. Does that make sense with everyone? Right? Like most people aren't comfortable with that because they haven't taken the time to really become aware of this is actually a gold thing that I do. Right? Like Nicole and her ability to train women well. Sometimes it just becomes like, oh, well, I just do this thing. Right? And Tiffany, you with the home, but you're not ignoring the emotional and spiritual and the things that are going on in your heart. So let's not take those things for granted, all of us. Let's become so much more reflective and self-aware so that we can, share it well with our people, right? Because the better that you are at communicating the value, the more value you will be able to receive and be paid well. Right? So good, Tiffany. I can't wait to see some of your posts. Thanks so much for sharing. One
Absolutely.
more. Does somebody else have some? Nicole, did you have some ideas of what you were thinking over the holidays, what you could share?
What popped into my head is because I have been busy before, like busier. Um, and how I got started, like back training, one of the things I would do is just when the kids were in their high chair, I would just do 2 minutes of burpees. And then that was it. Like I had this set time when that was my cue. When they're eating, you're doing just something small. And then they're not eating once a day. So I could get in 3 little mini workouts and time was no longer my enemy. So yeah, that was something that popped in my head.
Yeah, that is excellent. Like just making it doable, right? Again, that's what I'm trying to teach you guys is to instead of going, okay, and then you just go 2 weeks are gone and you haven't done the $1 Million Daily or connected or added people to your group and done posts, right? You want to avoid that. And you want to make sure you're leaning in. And I love also like of course like reels and like things that are only a minute long. I think you could probably do it in that short of a period of time, right? Like just like here's our one exercise for today and choose one every single day. And just be like for one straight minute, do like the burpees for the whole minute and have it recorded, right? And the next day do something and hold plank for or whatever it is, right, that you're going to do.
That's
I did
good.
all those things this morning very early. And we do it in 104 degrees. So I'm like, man, like when you're doing weights and abs and plank at that temperature, right? It's a whole new environment. But just running that every day, I think would be phenomenal. What is something about you or about your life that you could start to share a little bit to connect with the person who will buy your program and be a part of your mentorship?
That is a good question. um, Things that I'm doing right now, like some of the, like I'm really into gardening and healthy food lifestyle kind of deal. Sometimes when we take the kids to tutoring, and their lunch looks very different than the rest of the kids' lunch. So,
So take pictures of that.
yeah, okay.
Take pictures of that. Even if you do an alternative menu, like say, here's an alternative menu for Christmas.
Oh, that's good.
Lori Lane Dixon and I will still be having turkey and gravy and mashed potatoes. But for all the rest of you who are going to have green things, all greens. No, I do have greens too. And I had all I've had today is my green smoothie with collagen. But
No, I am a vegan.
oh,
So
look at that. Look at Lori's like, no, I don't eat that kind of stuff. Come on, Lori. But you eat French fries. Lori eats French fries. Come on, come on. Oh, she's like, no, all right. I'm sure somebody else. Tiffany,
That's hilarious.
Joseph, definitely. Come on, Joseph's like, yeah,
I'll
I'll
for
have turkey
sure be
gravy.
eating all the good stuff.
There you
Yes,
go.
Tiffany.
You guys are so cute. But Nicole, just like lean into that, like an alternative menu. Like what it's like being a single mom and going, through Christmas, right? And just chatting and like this is like you guys see my stories now, right? But I wrote about it during the time. I was pretty transparent and humble about everything that I went through and the challenges and it helps you to it really encourage people too and I think also you're going through such a massive growth, Nicole, that people can see just like how positive and the high energy that you operate in and what you're believing that God is going to do, right? So all of those things, it helps you to connect with the right person because you're sharing all of those aspects about who you are. And it's often those other things that you're posting that people remember. If people are liking your things and it's not necessarily related to what you do, start your sell by chat process with them, right? Because they're making a connection with you. It may be about travel, it may be about your menu, it may be about your workouts, it may be about your home. Often people will message me and be like, I love all the roses in your house, or I love all the pink. And that's just a way to bring connection, right? So again, you're looking for just opportunities to start conversations. And that's all you want to look for, Nicole. Does that help?
Very much so. The light bulb just went off when you said that last piece, like opportunities to start conversations. So I think I was limiting myself there. And so, yeah, that almost kicked the door wide open there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like it's just again, it's more awareness. So that's really good. Yeah, you guys, you part of it too is just again, you guys have heard me say that we don't lack resources. We lack resourcefulness. And so sometimes it's in just our lack of awareness of somebody's messaging, or if you have like 140 people who like reel, to be messaging every single one of them. Right? Every single one of those people you can start a chat with, that approximately 1 out of 30 of those people will be an opportunity to have a 10-minute call with them. So just be mindful of what that, right, of what that would look like. Okay. So let's lean in a little bit to some questions that you might have around your business over the holidays. But I would love to hear that in your in the chat as well, guys. So I see a lot of beautiful wins. So as we open up, I want you to share your win, and then we'll see what your question is that you need some help with. Who is ready? Just raise your hand and we'll lean right in. Joseph, are you ready? Can I bring you in? Hey, my friend.
Okay, I'm here. So, yes. So I was just typing another one. I found another good tree group. So I've been getting myself in tree groups. So I started, well, okay. So I went away here. I started sharing screen. Okay, I don't
Yes.
know
Yeah.
what's happening.
No,
Okay.
I'm just sharing my screen, my friend. So you've got some more good groups by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I just connected with one yesterday. So I started out getting like small business groups, and I got tons of VAs and all kinds of stuff. And so that was a little bit frustrating. I didn't make any good connections. So then I found a tree service group. And so I made a good connection. Somebody who was looking for a coach, but not for building their business, for speaking. So
Okay.
at least it was a good connection. I actually had a good quality conversation with my first person. And so I'm connecting him with someone else who's coaching me for speaking. And so that's good. I'm encouraged by that. And so
That's awesome.
then, so go
What are you
ahead.
needing? Yeah, go. No, what are you needing most help with?
So what am I needing help with? I just need to get consistent with my daily tasks, my $1 million daily. But I am doing better. Another win is I've been do better consistent at posting, so people can
Good.
get to know me and feel me and stuff. So I'm posting on both of my personal and my group website. And so my challenge is my days just are not the same. I was working till after dark anyway yesterday. And so it's like it's hard to get a rhythm of consistency with these things that I need to be doing. That's my biggest challenge.
Now, again, like I think part of that is if you know that's going to be consistently a difficult thing to be consistent, right? Because again, you're going to have to do everyone here. You have to do the dirty reps to get to that place, right? Like, so for a season, you want to make sure that you're doing that or training somebody that can do that for you, Joseph. So I would recommend, just because you're going to be struggling with getting off the ground, right? If you're not able to keep it going, you're going to find that just, you're going to stop here, or you'll always be in that zone instead. So taking a look at like having somebody help you. I mean, there is the ability to have a VA in the Philippines, or to have, somebody in your family So that would be what I would recommend is to find somebody who can help you to do the daily, and then to make sure that they're using a device that is registered to you.
Okay.
Okay, so if they're in your chat and they're working your Facebook for you, that they have then they come and join us in BTI. They watch all of the training, and then they're absolutely aware of the steps and the order that they are to do things in. Okay, so that's what I would recommend, and go through as well. Like because everybody here, you're going to have to go through the process of getting to a place where to be able to make this money and to feel super confident, you're going to have to go through the ability of creating competence, right? And you can either create competence by getting better and better and better at the, sell by chat, doing the 10-minute call, doing the strategy call, at closing sales and your delivery process, or you can pay for it and hire somebody to do all those things. I absolutely recommend as a founder that you're doing a lot of the dirty work in the beginning. You're doing a lot of the dirty reps. You're doing the chats. You're doing your 10-minute calls. You're posting your content. You're writing your own content. You're speaking to your people, because you will really know best what your clients need, and you will have that voice and be really clear. But you're only going to feel confidence comes from competence. And you're going to have to master these skills. And then once you master them, Joseph, then you can offload it to somebody else, because you have proof of concept, you have the income coming in, you have your minimum viable product, and you yourself have gone through that valley of growth, right? That you need to go through to be able to create that kind of income. So maybe for a season, make a decision that somebody helps in the other portion instead of in your business that you're currently doing. Somebody helps in your other business where you're there's going to have to be a give somewhere.
Right.
Whether it's somebody's helping you in your business right now. What do you feel is going to work best for you?
Yeah, I need to do some combo thereof. The easiest, a lot of the time, and more recently having part days, it's a little bit harder to get help. But I've got my kids around, but they're undependable. I'm not going to force them to work for me, because then that creates other problems. But yeah, I do need to do some combo thereof. I need to learn how to use other people in both my tree service and like you said, VA work, the kind of grunt work in both, in this. So yes,
Yes.
combination.
Okay, so let us know what we can do to help you, but you want to make sure that you're doing it. So even if you are, when I was a single parent at home and having to juggle everything and homeschool everybody and get everybody organized and take care of the dog in the home, and I mean, I had long, long days.
Right.
Right. So even if you're, up super early at the butt crack of dawn, as my kids call it, if you're up
Mhm.
really early, and right then, you're going to be doing the first $1 million daily, and then you go to serve clients in your day job. Right.
Right.
And then you swing back into and you go, okay, my 10 a.m. break, is me having coffee in my truck, and I go and I do the next set. So you have to figure out ways to make it work.
Right.
All of you, right? Like, and just trust that God is creating the capacity for, like, the tenacity that you're leaning in is going to create the capacity that you need to scale and to run a business. And you don't want to avoid the obstacles, because it's through these obstacles, it's learning how to do the chats, learning how to, all the nuances and the subtext and the skill, and learning how to bring in that kind of cash flow that is necessary for you then to step into higher levels and into bigger rooms and bigger stages, whether they're virtual or real. So, set some kind of schedule for yourself, Joseph, that you're like, regardless of what I'm happening. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I had to train myself to look the other way at dishes. Because I knew that if I just focused on all the things that have to be done in a day, right? If I had to, any woman, can I get an amen in the chat? And guys, if you're a single dad, then you understand too, right, Joseph? But it's, if you are, there's enough work to do in a day. You could just, like, between laundry and kids and lunches and cleaning up, that is enough. Is everybody understanding me? That could be full 18 hours.
Right.
So you have to discipline yourself for a season to take a look at all the things that somebody else can do for instead of you. So everyone here on the call, what does your list look like? Right? Like, anybody can wash floors, but not everybody can write your posts. Everybody can do the dishes, just about, except for me. Please, I have a handicap. I can't do dishes. I'm just kidding, but I hate dishes. But everybody can do that task. It's a low value task. So think about all the low value tasks, all of you, that you are still doing. For a season, if you can't afford to hire somebody, you're going to have to do all the low value tasks and all the business creating tasks for a season. But what you have to be careful of is that can produce burnout. And you're going to have to, at some point, make a decision as to, all right, what can I offload to somebody else? And obviously, you look first as to what's free, or a combination of free and I can just make a decision that it's not going to take up all of my time. What I mean by take up all my time, I'm talking about mental real estate. I made an actual decision in my brain that, because I love everything perfectly tidy and organized, okay? I'm like, I call myself a recovered type A personality, but I could become obsessed and be like, okay, okay, I got to clean up that corner. Everybody understands what I'm talking about, especially if you've had kids at home. You see crumbs on the counter and then you go, oh, there's dishes here and there's a Kleenex on the floor and somebody forgot to feed the dog. And this is like this whole trail of 2 hours that takes you away from what you're planning to do. Can we just come up to the confessional today, folks, right? And be like, that's me. But you have to make a decision that your future self is more important than staying small right now. Because if you don't make that decision, you're going to miss out on the cash flow and the sales. And the sales and serving your people, sales and serving your people will stay high importance even as you scale. But in these early stages, the focus has to be on all business activities, right? They all have to be on your business activities. What stops our business activities? What stops our business activities is a lack of being. So if our B is not high enough, we're not going to be able to implement. What do you mean by that, Coach Heaven? What I mean by that is, right, we have to be fruitful. We have to do to have, right? We have to do multiplication to have dominion. So doing our business activities, people will stop and they'll go, oh, that system doesn't work for me. It has nothing to do with the system. Almost always. There are exceptions, of course, right? I love how I teach. I love the process I teach. So I have been a part of things that wasn't maybe the best, but still, if I gave everything that I had in me, I could probably succeed. Are you guys with me? So you're doing your activities. You're doing the $1 Million Daily. You're doing the calls. You're doing the Sell by Chat. But if you are in the process of doing the work and it's not working, it's because it's working on you. It's not working for you. It's helping you to become the person that you need to be to do the things that you desire to do, to have the things you want to have. Right? The work is always working. It's either working on you or working for you. When it's working on you, you're in the B curve. It feels like it's not working, but you have to become that person. So how do you become that person? You become that person by doing the thing. Doing means you're going to have to step away from, okay, the old me would have stopped and done the laundry. The old me would have answered the phone call when I'm in the middle of writing. The old me would have like done a knucklehead task and, some random person is calling or some random thing is happening. Instead of isolating that and giving yourself a 15-minute window where you respond to all admin tasks, instead of you being at the mercy of every single thing that comes in your day. Are you guys seeing the difference here? Because you're doing, right, Joseph? When you start doing the tasks of your high level person, you're like, okay, I am going to be the kind of person who makes 100K a month. I'm just going to use that as an example. Well, what do they do in the day? Are they taking out their own garbage? No. Are they eating McDonald's? Probably not. Are they making sure their energy is really good? Are they getting enough sleep? Probably. So then you reverse engineer, what does that look like for the day? Okay. So then you want to make sure that that you're stepping in and doing all of those things. God will show you, and your coach, I will help you as you start to feel you see gaps. But you're going to have to step into doing all those things and make all the other things that you used to think were the most important as being the least important. Is everybody understanding me? Do you have a question about that, Joseph?
No, it all makes total sense, and I see what I have to do. I've got the basic format, and I'm looking at my piles of laundry here on my bed that I haven't done. So I am doing that much right, and I had my kids wash the dishes last night, so
You're
I'm doing
awesome.
some of it.
You're awesome. Like guys, this is part of it, right? Like when you have a job, right, Joseph? If you have a job, you go to a job, you just kind of have this like 97% lifestyle. You go to your job, you pay your bills, and your job is to pay your bills. This is how your life works. And then your kids do things, and then you consume, you watch TV, and this is kind of how the life is of that world. To get out of that world, you got to do different things.
Right.
You got to break out of the freaking box of death, the coffin that it is. You have to break out, and you can only break out by stopping doing what you used to do, which was usually a lot of these people do what's urgent and not important activities. And their whole world is consumed. Oh, look, the phone is ringing. I'll answer it because I have nothing else to do. Okay, right? Oh, somebody wants me to help them? Oh, I won't look at what I have on my agenda. I'll just go and do that random thing for somebody. Oh, you want me to come to this thing? Sure. I don't have any plans because I didn't plan out my year. You have to forcefully make a decision to never live like that again. It's a decision. You have to cut yourself off from all other outcomes and say, what do the 3% lives look like? What does that look like? Now, I'm not going to ask you to hire a butler today, Joseph, but you could start with, right? I have SOPs for my kids in my house.
So please.
Right? I have a standard operating procedure for all of my children that they have to sign.
Wow.
And I'm super clear with them what we do and what we don't do, whose night it is to cook. I have an SOP from my house manager who wraps all of my presents, who I had a huge Christmas party on Saturday. I wasn't even there for most of the day before a party. Okay, because I'm very clear and I outsource. I had a lot of food sent to my house and roses and all these things. I had somebody else clean my house. I had somebody else get the balloons. Every detail you can imagine. So I actually came to my house about a couple of minutes before people were coming for the party. And I had charcuterie boards made by my house manager. I had the groceries, $2,000 worth of groceries delivered to my house by Costco. I had my kids in their SOP. They have to organize everything and they have to do all the shelves. They clean the basement. They have to keep their rooms a certain way. There's a day they all have to do the laundry. There is the day they have to wash their sheets. Nobody's allowed to do homework or cleaning or anything on a Friday night. Everything has to be done before then. Fridge is cleaned before Thursday at noon. I know you guys probably think I'm insane. I know, just hearing it. And I am the most fun to live with. I'm going to get Christian to actually say amen to that, because this sounds it sounds a little bit hard. But do I want to be, guys, I'm really having a real conversation with you. I don't want to be at the mercy of this. I don't want to be at the mercy of having nothing planned, because then something will fill that void. Something will fill the void. If you don't have a plan for your meals, Joseph, for your week, if you don't have the time that you're going to eat every day, if you don't have like a plan around everything. And as much as possible, all of you, so Nicole, guys, when you have kids that are small too, as much as possible, don't get decision fatigue on things that don't matter. Right? So if your brain is having to do gymnastics on all kinds of things, like, Joseph, you said you worked late last night. I don't do well if I have to be up late. That's just me personally, because I'm like a 4 or 5 a.m. girl. And I know I will not be able to think at the level that I think at in the work that I do if I don't get enough rest. I know that if I eat a bunch of garbage, I won't be able to either, right? So there's a lot of decisions I've had to make up here. I'm not a vegan yet, Lori. I'll be open to learning maybe in the new. I do have daughters that are vegans though, but there's a whole bunch of things that go along with this, right? Like if I'm going to a job, I can kind of be like half on and still get paid. Everybody with me?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll still pay my bills. I could have terrible habits. I don't smoke, but I probably could smoke. I could sleep in late. I could, and just get to my job on time and show up at my desk, right? But when you're running a company and it's based on you, Joseph, as being the high energy, when you talk to your team, when you talk to your clients, when you speak to your children, you're going to want it to all be from a place of that you are at your best, right? And I know I'm singling out Joseph, but I'm talking to all of you. Joseph just happens to be sitting with me right now in the living room, right? So thinking ahead of time, right, Joseph? Because if you know that if you do your laundry in the time of your day that is your best time, let's say like kind of like 6 to 8 a.m., maybe to 11 a.m. window, where your brain is the most excited and fiery, and you're doing it for low value tasks. Now you're doing it something that's a low value, that's not going to produce a harvest of something that's high value. It's also going to drain your energy, and you're not going to have the same bandwidth. Is everybody following me here? Mm. So as I'm talking, what are some things that are coming up, Joseph, that maybe you're doing some of your higher energy time of your day to do the lowest value tasks?
I'm actually pretty good at that. Like even when I said I work late, it gets sunsets at 4:40 here. So working late means I was grinding stumps after dark. I was cleaning up after dark. So I actually got to bed like shortly after 9. I'm pretty good at that. I go to bed early and I get up early and I have good energy time early. And so I do Bible reading and then I have some creative time and answering messages and stuff. But then I'm usually off to work, by like 8 or taking the kids to school.
Okay, so let me just help you in that window. That sounds good. Let me help you in that window, right? Okay. Because those of you who do your Bible study, you're used to being a consumer. And so your life isn't about you being the creator. Your life might be mostly being a consumer. And so that means reading your Bible or reading other things or listening to books on tape or watching podcasts or watching YouTube videos, which is awesome, guys. Learners are earners. Mm-hmm. But from that time, then create something, Joseph.
Right.
So in that window, create something. And then from there, again, you can also do a plan like to have all of your content done a month in advance, right? You could have this window, but this is like in the beginning stages. All of you, I recommend if you're not past 30K months, that you are having this rhythm. You get up early, you exercise, you feel good, you have something in your body, you read, you have your needs met, and you have time to pray, right? You're having this time, but then go into, I'm now going to create something, all of you. Then once you create, once you had some time to create, then go into the $1 Million Daily. Don't do emails. Don't look at social posts. Don't look at anybody else's stuff till you've done you take care of you, then you create for your people, right? What is wealth? Wealth is providing value for someone other than yourself. And if you're a consumer, you're not then creating value for someone else. You're only consuming something from somebody else. So you're going to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, in your Bible, spiritually, with worship. Then you're going to create something that you can post. And then you're going to do your $1 Million Daily. So you have your whole system is going before whatever time you need. So some of you that might be 7 a.m. You have all that done. Some of you that might be 9 a.m. Some of you may not have kids at home right now, so it could be a little bit later. But decide on that window. Does that help, Joseph? Anybody else? That help?
Yes, that helps.
Okay, awesome. So let us know how that goes in there. I know you're a disciplined guy and you're doing a lot of stuff at once, but we're here to help you to try to figure it out so that you can get through that, so that you're having the chat starts, 30 chat starts a day minimum, and that you're doing 5 triage calls a week, right? Because then that's 20 a month minimum to be then 10 strategy calls, which is then 5 closes. Those 5 closes, a minimum of 3,000 is 15,000 a month, right? Unless your price point is higher. But let us know what we can do to help, but stay accountable, Joseph, to get this part nailed, because I know you've said in the past that not being consistent on your $1 Million Daily is something that's taken you out. So let's, over the holidays, be that a challenge. Can everybody here hold Joseph accountable to help him to get that place? Amen. All the best to that, Joseph. Who else needs help here? Tiffany, I'm going to bring you in because it looks like you might be at a desk now. Hi, lovely.
Hi.
What can I help you with today? Share a win first, and then let's go into what you need help with.
A win would be that I got my PDF done and I got a potential client that I was able to send it to.
Yay!
Yes. So I'm still waiting to hear back from her. And then another win is I posted my rant
Good
that we
stuff.
discussed last week.
Good.
Yep.
That's awesome. Did it feel liberating to post a rant and be real?
Yes. Yes. It really did. It really did. But I will say I blocked one of my clients from seeing it, even though, because I was just at her house and I knew it would, like,
That's okay.
I know she needs to see it, but I did block her from viewing it. So that felt a little weird.
That's all
But
right. That's all right. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that,
yeah,
guys, because sometimes
it did feel really good.
yeah, right? Because you want to be real about some of those things. Don't worry, guys. Like a lot of my rants come from some of the conversations I have with you guys, right? And from myself. Right? Because I went through all the same things that you guys are going through, right? I'm just at a different place, but I've been through it. I know exactly what you're going through. So share with me just quickly before you ask me the question around, so your client, you had a 10-minute call with her and then you sent her the PDF, correct?
Yes, and the 10-minute call was not expected, so I did not do the script. It was someone who's a local who reached out to me, and I thought she was wanting in-home organization. So she asked if we could schedule a consult. So I just gave her a quick call while I was in the car, thinking, oh, she's local. She just wants me to come in and set up a consult. And then the more she's describing her needs, I'm like, she's describing the coaching program. Like, she needs a coach. She doesn't need in-home sessions. This is a triage call. So I'm quickly
Amen.
trying to shift gears, and I'm like, okay, so I'm listening to her needs and listening to her, and I'm like, she's coachable, likable. I think she has the money for it, and based on where she lives, we didn't talk about that, but she also was problem aware, solution aware, and me aware. So I'm like, this is perfect. And so I did send her, I quickly finished my PDF, like you said. It would motivate me
Good.
to do. So I
Okay, can
did
I help
that and
you?
I
Can I
sent
help you
it to
close this
her.
sale now? How long ago
Yes,
was the
please.
10-minute call?
It was, I think it was Friday, and I sent the PDF 2 days ago.
Awesome. Okay, so
And
what
so,
happened
yeah.
after she got the PDF? How did she respond?
She has not responded. So I did
Right.
send her a voice note
Okay.
yesterday,
And
and
what
she
did you
hasn't read
say?
it or listened to it. I was following up with her to see if she was able to open it okay, and if we could, and I gave her a time. I said, would you be available for a phone call on Wednesday at noon? I just gave her a specific time, but she hasn't opened that yet
Okay, great.
or
Yeah,
listened to
because
it. So I'm
again,
a little
you
concerned.
probably no, don't worry about it. But you found so guys, I want you guys to understand that if you don't go through these weird emotions and feeling all this stuff, you're not going to have the capacity to close $1 million in sales. You've got to go through all of these emotions, feelings, and navigate and learn how to ask the right questions as you go, right? That this is so normal. And guys, a lot of the sales are on the 5th to the 7th follow-up. So you want to stay in it. It's just you haven't learned the capacity yet, Tiffany. So it can feel a little like, shouldn't this be easier? No, this shouldn't be easier, right? So you're creating the capacity right now because you necessarily don't feel like you did the 10-minute call, but it sounds like you got enough information to know that it was a good fit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And how did you leave it after the end of that call? Did you say, okay, it sounds like you'd be an excellent fit for whatever, whatever it's called. And then I'd love to schedule time, or did you say I'll pop in the chat the PDF? How did that go?
Yeah, I got her email address, and I told her I would be emailing her the PDF and to be on the lookout for it. And I asked if she wanted, I asked if she would like my 3 steps to a divinely organized home, my lead magnet. And she said, yes, that would be awesome. So I sent that to her. And she wrote me back and said she was really excited to get my coaching and to, she's sick of
Amazing. But you're going back
the
and forth in email, right?
in text message.
In text. Okay. Text is way better. I would, if she's not responding on text, or she's not responding email, she's not responding on all three, and Messenger, what does that look like?
All 3. So she had trouble. I think it was she was looking for the teaching in the email and said, I didn't receive the email. And I said, no, it's in Messenger. I don't think she gets on Messenger too often. So she ended up finding it and being able to open it. So we were kind of in Messenger and text message. But the last thing so she hasn't responded to anything in Messenger or email after I sent the PDF. And then in text, the last thing I sent was the follow-up telling her that I did send the PDF and that that was a voice memo that I sent and asked her if she was available today at 12 to get on a call.
Okay, so
I
so
said
you
that
don't know for
yesterday.
sure. You don't know for sure if she's even watched or read the PDF, right? We don't know.
Correct. I don't know.
Right. So I would just pick up the phone and I would just call her just because she's local,
Okay.
right? And I would just say, hi, it's me. I'm really looking forward to seeing if or how I can best help you. And the if or how keeps it like not salesy, right? I'm really looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
if or how I could best help you. And then go right into, were you able to open the PDF okay? And then
Okay.
she might say, she's going to say yes or no, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she says no, then it's too soon to hop on that call today.
Okay.
If she says, oh, yeah, sorry, I've been super busy and the kids have a runny nose and there's Christmas parties, right? That's probably what it is. And then she'll say, and then
Okay.
you say, super. And do not get into, and everyone, do not get into all of the stuff on a phone call that is only to book the call.
Okay.
So she says, well, I'm just wondering, do you have a tuition plan? I'm just wondering, could we meet on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays? She starts to just say, no worries. I will address all of that on the call with you. Does, tomorrow at 10 a.m. work or whatever is going to work for you, right? Just secure that.
Okay.
So what you want to do is say, I am really looking forward to having a conversation to see if or how I could best help you. Were you able to open the PDF okay? Yes or no? No, then you say, okay, I'll resend it. Where's the best place to send it? Because it sounds like you've got too many channels. And I reckon this is why I teach Facebook to Messenger, but also anyone who's local, to say, okay, I can also message you in text. Is texting or Messenger better? Just everyone, just put a note to yourselves as well as Tiffany, because everything that I share also applies to Tiffany. And it's snowing out. I'm so happy. To be able to just be clear on that, right? Because you don't want to be sending all these different places and then for her to miss it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that sound good? Does that help?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's what I would go through. Then I feel like you've had the 10-minute call. So I don't think I would go to a 10-minute call. I would go
Right.
into the close. So you've got to do this part first and then secure it for maybe tomorrow. And then once for sure, so I would stay on the phone with her you want to do a few things. You want to say, I'm really looking forward to yes or no. You're going to establish all of that. And you want to make sure that she has the PDF and has opened it while you're on the call with her, so that you don't have to go back and ask that again. Does that make sense? And you want to bam fam. You want to book a meeting from a meeting and get that secured of your time. So now she's opened it. She understands what the conversation's about. So then your next thing is, and you know where you're going to communicate, because it sounds like there's too many channels. So be clear on to where you're going to be communicating. And then you'll be sending the agenda for tomorrow, verbiage. Do you have a copy of that, Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So agenda for tomorrow, and then go through all of that. If we decide, that she's ready to create that financial decision, and then she's going to pop in the chat, yes or no. If someone does not respond, you don't want to hop on a call with that person. If somebody does not say anything, you don't want to, because if they do not respond, then what's going to happen is you're going to get on a call without them agreeing that they're going to have a yes or no decision at the end of that call. Do you understand? So again, you want to figure out what's going on in the communication here. Like, why is she not responding? What is happening? You want to get into, I always say that really great marketing is when we show up and have the ability to get into the head of our client. Same with really good sales process. Any really good communication in general is getting inside the head. So you want to be able to figure out, like, what's going on. Is there too many channels? Does she not have the PDF? Is it triggering things that are going on inside of her, right? Like, you want to be able to figure that out. Does that help?
Okay. Yes.
right? So then once you've sent the agenda for tomorrow, you want her to say, yes, that's awesome. And you want her to now freak out. There has to be something that she says, some kind of pushback. Guys, part of the 97% life that we talked about here with Joseph is the 97%, they want no pushback. They want no difficulty. Right? Wealth is solving high-level problems for somebody else. Right? They want no pushback. They want no difficulty. They want everything within these confines. They want to go to bed at the same time. They want to eat the same things. They don't want any difficulty or challenge or change. The 3% is willing to do all those things to have the things that the 97% is not willing to do. Is everyone tracking with me? Right? So that when you get to this place of her way of solving her problem is to avoid solving it, Tiffany. So anyone here, it doesn't matter if it's a book writing, a wealth, a declutter, a new relationship, get married in a year, lose 50 pounds. It doesn't matter what the thing is. Every single human has that default of my solution is to not solve the problem. And you're going to have to navigate with them. You have to hold their hand, Tiffany, like you're putting your boys to bed. You have to stay with them till they're in their bed with the nightlight on and their glass of water and their stuffy and their warm blanket and their alarm set for the morning. Right? So just think of the sales process like that. You've got to stay with them. It's not here's my PDF, click the link below and join. It's not like that. Sales is not like that. Anyone who tells you it is like that is not very experienced, or they think that they'll just figure things out later if they don't have high client retention. If you want high client retention and high sales, you've got to go through this process. Okay, so she's at some point going to say something. She will say, yes, and then she may say, oh, I'm just wondering about money, or oh, I'm just wondering about when that starts. Oh, I'm just, whatever her thing is, expect, everyone here, expect some kind of obstacle. It's very naive to think that, and because everything is going to be an excuse. Even its Christmas holidays is an excuse. What is their current solution, Tiffany, for the problem they have?
To not solve it.
To not solve it. The book that they're going to write, Lori, their solution is to not solve it. Nicole, their workouts and to get to that next level, their solution is to not solve it. So all of the excuses that come are all of the brain stuff that's going on for them to prevent them having to solve it. And it's worked with everyone before they met you. And you are, because you're trained by me, that you understand the underlying things that are going on. And I'm helping you with how to overcome it. So go through all of the curating the environment for the sale, where I teach you how to do that and go through. You want to overcome all the obstacles before the sales call. You don't want to get on a sales call and not have it all worked out. What do I mean by that? You want her to say something. If she just says yes, then hopefully she's read this really well. But I still like to poke a little bit more. Now, I'm a fairly good buyer. What do I mean by that is I don't have all this nonsense that's going on in my brain that's trying to if I want something, I just want it figured out. I want to find the right person. I want it done, right? So there are buyers out there. If you're that kind of buyer, Tiffany, you may attract those kind of buyers. She may not be a difficult person. Okay. But you want to have some kind of, because everybody, it's just in our nature, we want to ask, we just want to have the dialogue, right? We just want to go back and forth with someone. So you may want to poke, but if you just have a good feeling, or if she sends you a voice message and says, so sometimes it's better than just having the yes, is to have a voice message where she says, Yeah, I read the PDF. I'm super excited. It looks like something that it would be great for me. I just have a few questions. Right? So her question may be, it's a group program. When does it start? We're not starting for 2 weeks. What do we do until then? Right? So you may want to have some
I
homework
need to
ready
know
for
these
her.
answers.
What's that?
I need to figure these answers out.
Right. And this is such a good exercise for all of you. And sometimes you won't know it till you go through it because there could be other things than what I'm sharing, right? You could say, yes, if you get started today, she might go. And if she says, and I want you to understand, Tiffany, everything is an excuse. Every single thing she's going to say is an excuse. And you have to learn how to overcome every single one of them. If you don't learn how to overcome it, you will buy into the lies, and then you will think that you have a problem around not having the right people, but it's actually you're not learning what's necessary to close sales. It's a skill, just like tying your shoes or riding a bike. Sales is a skill. So she should give you some kind of something, you want to collect them, but as much as possible, you want to be able to overcome that in chat. Right? So if she says, yeah, I read that, but I'm just wondering, like, it's Christmas holidays. Maybe we could get together beginning in January and talk about it then. All of you, everybody's going to say that. What do you do? What could we say? Lori, do you have an idea?
Most of the time when a client does that, they're wanting you, number one, it's like a pushback. And so it's being able to acknowledge where they are and kind of do like that listening communication. Like, I know sometimes these things overwhelm us, and let's talk about what you're feeling comfortable with in blah, blah, blah. Because it really is acknowledging and listening to where the client is at the time. And then making almost like paving a way for them to be able to feel comfortable in the next steps. That's how we've
Yes.
been doing it. And
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
they feel heard.
So you want them to feel heard, but you want to never give ammunition for their
Nope.
excuses.
No, nope.
Exactly.
Nope, I hear you. And it sounds like that is incredibly difficult around the holidays for you. Let's look at a couple strategies that it works with me to be able to work through some of those organizing steps. And then I'd love to chat more with you about this. They need success with you. They need to feel that you're partnering with them. At
Learn to
least
normalize
feel
it. Right? Like there is
Yes.
this just to normalize, like, yes, like during the holidays, of course, we're having these things, but then to bring it right back. So you want to make sure you hear them, like Lori's saying. You want to listen and you want to normalize what they're experiencing, but then at the same time, you want to bring it into, we are getting started in a couple of weeks. And I know that by you having that 90-minute bonus session or whatever you have as your bonus will really help to accelerate the outcome that they want. And then we will be starting a week after that as a group. Do you see how I'm moving here? So you want to listen, you want to normalize, then you want to relate it to some kind of outcome or bonus you have. And then say it will really help you to be prepared for, because I know that you have said to me, and often that's why I was talking about speaking in the currency of the client. If she says to you, Tiffany, and again, this is everybody, but just apply it to your client, speak in the currency of your client. If she says to you, I find it just so stressful having, all the kids home and I just don't feel organized, and I haven't had any of my, I don't have any quiet time anymore, right? So then just normalize these kind of things. Say we're going to get a really good game plan for moving into the forward. And you have mentioned how, when your kids are back in school in January, how you'd really love to be able to do X, Y, Z that combine whatever it is to the outcome that they have said in the words they have used. Right? So you want to tie it in and anchor her in the things that she has said are important to her. Right? So that she will have she's accountable to herself. And it's not salesy, right? You're using the words that she has said. And like Lori has mentioned, right? Like just to listen and hear and allow her to speak, allow her to share what that is that she's going through. But find some other things, Tiffany, to be able to help her, right? Whether it's with homework that she can do, like once she's signed up, right? Like once you've closed that sale and she's registered, my recommendation is, and because I just newbie mistakes is losing the sale. They think they've closed the sale because the person says, yeah, this is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm going to talk to my husband and we're going to pray about it. And I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. And you think you have a sale and you don't. And then just think about when your kids get up during the night and you haven't hemmed in everything properly, you got to go right back to reading them stories in their bed. You got to get them tucked in. You got to go right back to the beginning. You don't realize it because you're new at this. So to avoid that happening, once you have the yes on the call, once they've said, okay, yeah, I'm ready to get started, you can go right into, what's your mailing address? And would this be on Visa or MasterCard? And just get it all completed on the call, Tiffany.
And how do you accept payment? And then also, what do you do if they want some kind of, or ask for a payment plan? Or payment
Well,
option?
I would recommend that you're clear about that in the PDF.
Okay,
Right?
I
So
did not include that.
so
I
make
just
sure you,
include the total amount.
yeah. But you could also have a tuition. What is your tuition?
5,000.
Yeah. So you could offer something. My thing is, I, as much as possible, go with paid in full. Because once you have a team and you're paying somebody, Tiffany, every hour, if you have somebody who's not covering their balance of their tuition, you're now paying your team members to chase people. I just want you to be aware of that as a business owner, right? That's part of it. The other part is decide for you can, there's Stripe you could be set up on. There is PayPal. There is, and if all your clients are in the US, there's, other things that you can do. Like I'm not in the US, but Cash App and other things that you can do. I recommend that you have a few options.
And is it okay
I,
if it goes to my personal account, or do I need to have it go to my business account? I'm kind of
yeah, if you're,
thinking of,
again, it depends on the jurisdictions of where you are and where you live. You can be as a solopreneur right now. People take, if you're not making tons and tons and tons of money yet, people spend way too much time focusing on the structure and the system and the LLC and the this and the that. None of that really matters. You can file taxes for like saying, okay, I've got to like a box of, I picture Joseph. I don't know why Joseph, your box of receipts and you got like an envelope of cash, right? Like just think of old, just like the structures the way they used to be. Don't overthink this is what I'm saying, Tiffany. It's like just make it doable for her to pay you. If
okay.
she lives where you live and it can be, she can just do e-transfer, then that's absolutely fine. And then you just can create a receipt. Everyone listen. You only need to have systems and things put in place when it gets to a place that you're not able to manage it.
And I know you had us do a DocuSign. Do I need to create something like that?
I highly recommend it. And I like to do that right on the call. And if you guys would like I'm pretty sure that I've taught on this a few times, but I'm happy to, not today, but another time, because we're almost out of time, is to go over just going through the elegance of the clothes. I don't focus it so much in this level as I will later on. You guys want to just get it done and get it done dirty almost, get the dirty reps in. The habit, you're going to learn so much from your own, right? Like your own mistakes, your own presentations, your own ability to connect with your people. But one thing I like to do at the end of, so somebody said yes. I'll say that's amazing. Congratulations. We're really excited to have you part of this. What made this a yes for you? And then they will say back to me why they said yes. They will say, well, this seems fantastic. I've really been looking for something that XYZ, right? They're going to tell you why. Once they tell you why, then you say, fantastic. If I hear you right, this is what's really important to you. Fantastic. And then you can go right into what's your best mailing address, right? And get all that information. And then say, would this be Visa or MasterCard or, e-transfer or whatever it is, wherever you are, you've got to figure that out for what's best for you. Get that done then. If your person says, like, just everything's figure outable, Tiffany. If she says, oh, I only could do a $500 deposit right now, like, make it work.
Okay.
Right? Because if somebody makes a deposit, this is why, and this is like later on I'll teach you, but I'm doing a funnel for my next level people, which I'm believing Lori and Carolyn are going to be a part of in January, is because I'm doing a done for you sales boss suite where you have a paid a paid challenge. When you have a paid challenge and somebody, even if it's $100 or $1, they have the likelihood that they'll invest again is really high. So if she says, this is my address, well, and you say, and if you go into, is that Visa or MasterCard or whatever, and she says, oh, I can only do 500 right now, you say, okay, no problem at all. And then you just get that paid. It's the most important thing is you just get it paid on that strategy call. Never dial back and do the tuition at another time. Every single person on this call. Because you will have to, again, as a founder, once you have a team, if you teach your team that we have a dial back 72 times to talk to people about something that could be done once, you're now saying, I am willing as a founder to pay somebody $30 or $40, $50 an hour to do 72 times something that could have been done in 1 hour at $30. That is just not a smart business owner position. So that's part of the reasoning. The other reasoning is people, again, their solution to losing weight is not lose weight. Their solution to get their house organized is not get it organized. Their solution to find their dream husband is just talk about finding their dream husband for the rest of their life. You are now stopping them from living in denial. And the only way it's going to happen is if you get that cash flow on the call. People who pay attention. Write it down. Once she says yes, then just figure that out. Then now she's done a deposit. Then you say, amazing. And it will take some skill level, Tiffany. And so be okay with yourself getting used to having to send a PayPal link while trying to have a conversation and not look awkward. Learning how to do the PayPal, have it paid, have all this elegance and conversation and moving things forward with homework and your next steps while sending a DocuSign. But you will be able to do it. Okay? Know you can do this. And then say, oh, I have just sent you the understandings. So team, we don't call it a contract. We say understandings. We don't say, can you sign this? You say endorse. You don't say payment, you say tuition. This is the language of wealth. So once you walked her through that next step, right, of, the understandings have just been sent to your email, if you want to quickly endorse that and send it back to me. Do you see the language instead of, I've sent you a contract, please sign it after you've read the 45 pages? She doesn't have to, you don't have to tell her to read the whole thing. You just say, I've sent you the understandings to your email. If you could endorse that and send it back. Did you receive it? She's going to say yes. You say, awesome. And then while she's reading it, you can then talk about, say, amazing. Does Tuesday at 9 or 3 work best for our first 90-minute bonus session or whatever your thing is? You'll get good at this, Tiffany. You'll
I
be
need
able
to
to
come
do
up with a
both.
thing, a bonus thing.
Yeah, so go back to the craft your offer
Okay.
training and just make sure you look at your guarantee, your promise, your bonuses, all those things, that you have it where you're really clear about it. And I recommend, even if somebody's in your own hometown, this is for everybody, even if someone's local, still have your call on Zoom. It's just better for time management, right? Because they're not paying you to drive to go see them. You're in a coffee shop. There can be so many distractions. And you don't necessarily have to learn how to write on an iPad, but I always did my sales calls on like a telephone for years. And then I trained myself to learn how to do this because I wanted to be able to talk to my clients and to share what it's going to look like and to be able to write it out. And I don't do a presentation slide because it's not in the currency of your client. It's in the currency of a sales presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start showing slide decks of here's option A, here's option B, here's the reasons why you can join us, they start to feel like it's not personal anymore. Because everyone will have different decisions and reasons for buying and joining. And it's not for us to talk people out of it, guys. I've had people who have hired me and paid me incredibly well, and they just want 45 minutes with me. I have gone through deliverance with business owners who I would love to work on other business things, but for them, they needed the time with me to walk through some deliverance in their life. It's up to, once you're in the process with them, for them to choose the journeys. You're going to provide and create a system and structure and training, but everyone's going to have a different experience. Lori may have one woman come into her program who wants a book so she can be the sales queen for her business. Another woman just wants to be around other writers and to get prayer and to journal and to have more structure for her writing. But you have to allow your clients, like, for them to have that expression. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your takeaways from this, Tiffany? What are you going to do moving forward?
I'm going to call her and get, do those things to get on a call with her. I like the different language to use, the wealth language. Yeah, I took a lot of notes.
Okay, good. Yeah, go back through and then maybe type in order some of the things that we chatted about, just so that you feel like you're going to be, really on top of it, and formulate the order and the structure and get it really clear in your mind of how it all looks. But don't delay action. Just, guys, you have to be willing to do this imperfectly. But go through and do all those pieces. And if there's something that we can help you with, reach out to us, and we're here to help you close that sale. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You bet. Gary.
Greetings.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we're sorry,
to
Lori
see
was
you.
waving, I guess.
Yeah, because it's a party. Everybody's excited.
Oh yeah, well, it's Advent season, yeah. So so a quick update, and I have a specific question related to something you were just saying to Tiffany. That's why I put
Of
my hand
course.
up. And so Yeah. So we have another corporate client who is quite loves what my partner and I want to offer, mostly him offering. It's a transition plan for him to sell his business to his son and the general manager. And so the next meeting is going to be with the three of them. And so that's that part of good news.
That's
And also,
amazing. Everybody. Woo! Good job. That's awesome news.
we're making more headway with engaging people in chat. And I did an audio, which Rose is going to send out today. And so we're applying as much as we're getting from you. We are real time applying it.
Yay. I'm
hoping
so
to-
proud of you. That's awesome.
Yep. Good.
Good
So
job.
hoping and believing for more engagement. And Rosa has a 10-minute call tomorrow. I had a 10-minute call yesterday. So my question is regards to
Yes.
my 10-minute call, which he needs to book on my calendar link, the sales call. However, my question is this: how would you handle it, other than using the primary sales strategy format, if this is probably not really a qualified? It doesn't appear like a qualified prospect at the moment. It appears more like it could be a strong referral source or some other benefit to my calling, not necessarily closing a sale of the product. So
Okay. Yep. So the question, just to clarify, is what is the best process when you are engaging in chat with someone who
well, no, this is
doesn't?
so the question really is not in chat, but on a sales call.
Okay, so because I would reverse engineer and be
Okay.
able to look at why is somebody on a sales call who isn't pre-qualified?
Yeah. Okay. So there's reasons for that specifically in this case. Without, I can share them if you want, but it's not really totally
Okay, like
relevant.
I think there's exceptions. Again,
Yeah.
I understand that. However, the process is you're in chat to the 10-minute call to the sales call, and that you're not taking somebody out of the chat into a call who isn't coachable, likable, afford your services, and they're a good fit.
So
Right?
can I jump in with a related question? Because
Yep.
Rose and I have this right now. So she's doing all the communication as if it's me, but at some point in the conversation, when the prospect gets more engaged, then she reveals it's Rosa and it's not me, and she's operating on my behalf.
Okay, she
And
shouldn't
so,
do that because that will undermine your integrity.
what do you
So
recommend?
there needs to be a handoff. And so what happens is Rose is
But
in
she's doing the
chat.
10-minute calls.
Yeah, so just watch,
Okay.
just stay with me for a second.
Yep.
So she's in the SBC as you, okay?
Yes. Yes.
And she's doing the chat and she's going along, and then it determines that you're ready for the call. Then she says, fantastic, really excited. I'm going to introduce you to Rosa, who is a highly esteemed person, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
How does that sound? Yes. Then Rosa will start a chat with Rosa and Gary and the prospect.
Oh, so the very first part of the conversation is I'm Gary, and I'm going to introduce you to Rosa to continue some conversation.
Yes, even though it's Rosa doing the chat.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. And then just do the introduction. So have something in boards where it says, hi, Jim. This is Rosa that I told you about. And she's so amazing. She's done all these great things. And she's going to have a call with you.
Oh, okay. Okay, even though
Okay.
it's Rosa all along, but she's pretending it's me talking.
Exactly.
She's introducing herself per se, and then she's going to have the call.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly. Okay. Does that answer that part of it?
Thank you very much.
You bet. And so then I guess your other question is with regards to if you have somebody on the call who could be great at collaborating or connections or referral basis, but isn't going to be a good fit for your product.
That's correct.
Is
That's
that your
my
question?
sense.
Okay. Yeah. So occasionally this can happen, but you want to make sure that that is actually the case, because sometimes people can present themselves as not really being a suitable prospect. So you just want to make sure that I'm just saying that as keep that open as a window, because sometimes people will say, oh, I'd really love to, or I think we could, when they actually would be a really good client. So you want to make sure that you're clear on that. So what you can have in there is you have to decide as a company what is going to be our referral process or our policy or a way that it just doesn't become, we just forget about it. I recommend being a little bit more direct. Since you have rapport, you could say, it's been so wonderful to have this conversation. And I'm really excited to be able to, connect with you about XYZ in the future, maybe something to do with his business. I would say we have an affiliate partnership. We have a system that we've set up. Even if you don't have it set up yet, that's okay. You can figure that out, Gary.
Mhm.
We have an affiliate, blah, blah, blah. Would you be open to us having a conversation about having things set up for you to have that process? Because from there, it may actually go right into, he may have an email list of 10,000 people. And it may be something that you're going to, so first have a conversation as a team to say, what is our referral process? What do we want it to look like? Or do we want to just say, hey, while I've got you on the call, is there 3 to 5 people that you can think of that may really benefit from what we teach? Okay, so decide, are we going to go about it about affiliates, about joint ventures? What is the process? Or are we going to just go with the 3 to 5 and get them on the call to list the names?
That would be my starting point. I would start with that.
Yeah, and I think to me, that's more you. And I would even, and again, if it's Rosa pretending to be, saying that she's you, even ask them to start a chat in Messenger or wherever, LinkedIn, wherever you're connecting with them, start a chat within that social with that other person. Say, would you mind today? And again, you don't want it to be too big of an ask.
Mhm.
So you may say, if you think of somebody you could do a chat today with, because again, 3 to 5 warm, that is gold. Okay, so that would be my recommendation. Does that help?
Yes, very good. Yeah, thank you.
What else can I help you with?
So that's good. I'm just sort of re-summarizing what my current thinking is in addition to what you just said. So
Yes.
I'll use the sales strategy as the format, and even though he wants to maybe recruit me for his business and I want to explore the synergies, I will ask for his permission to kind of share his vision, share his obstacles and those things, and then just see where that can go, and then make that decision on the recommending our program or just see if there's a referral relationship.
Yes, I still just again, if we think about from a founder's perspective and on cost benefit analysis and on profit first and about how you're going to expend your finances on your hiring team, we just think of it from strictly that perspective. You want to be assessing as early as possible in your process so that you're not risking then, because also you could have somebody eventually in a triage role who's not as savvy or trained in how to do joint ventures, affiliates, or to do the referral process. Right? Like the triage role is really a lower skill level. Okay. So to save time and money, I would recommend highly that the sell by chat to triage to close stays very clean. You don't want to be mixing people that are coming in and there's an amorphousness of we're not sure why we're all on this call. So we'll do kind of this weird conversation and it's very unstructured and it undermines your authority. So I highly recommend being super clear in the chat. Is this a good fit? Yes. If they're not a good fit, then out. But if they're is a good fit for collaborations or for JVs or affiliates, that you begin to branch out your some of your conversation in the sell by chat scripting and even how you're training your team, so that then you have if then next statements for the next things that it might be, and not to mix them all up in this 10-minute call. Just so it can stay a very clean pipeline.
So to clarify that in the
Yes, of
chat
course.
process, not in the call.
always in the, as much as possible in the chat, that you know that they're problem aware, solution aware, you aware, and now aware. You know that the problems they have are the solutions you provide, and you know they're coachable, likable, and can afford your services to the best of the ability of the person doing the chat to be able to then move it to the 10-minute call. If in the chat they say, hey, we're doing 50 million in revenue, we've got all this stuff set up, but you guys sound amazing for like this pocket of people we are connected with, you say fantastic, and maybe have that for you being the call, where you then say, okay, we have a 15-minute, partnership to glory phone call. Could you do next Wednesday at 3 o'clock with Gary? And then it's totally a different thing, right?
Okay, good.
And because you also don't want, again, somebody you're paying $15 an hour to do a triage call, to do a call with somebody that could be, an 8-figure deal. Are you with me?
Yep. Yep.
Because they wouldn't have the nuance, the skill set, right? Like in Born to Influence, I can have other people on my team have a conversation, but I know that for my 100K offer, I'm going to be the one to talk to them. Right? Because there's it's such a high level skill set. Does that help there, Gary, with that
Fantastic.
process and order? And is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, I guess it's just more of an intuitive question, and so it's part of this as well. I mean, I sent him my calendar link. Haven't followed up since, even though I know that's part of the process. Did you get it? When will you book, et cetera, et cetera. But because I'm busy and because there's no clear evidence that he's a qualified prospect, I haven't done anything. What would you do? Other than you might not take the call, but what would you do in this situation?
Yeah. So remind me, how much information does you've had the 10-minute call and now it's to book the strategy call, or
I'm waiting
no?
for him to book a semi-strategy call, yes.
But there has been a for sure pre-qualification of some kind?
Well, in terms of he is the right quality of a business, yes.
Okay. I would send a voice message and just say, hi, hey, Jim. But again, you're looking for, and write this down, you're looking for things that can be duplicatable, scalable, and sustainable. So I know this is a weakness of mine because I have an ability to remember every detail about everybody that I work with. However, for somebody else in your company to remember every single detail is probably not going to be realistic, and that's not transferable. So you could make a general voice note that just says for this situation. So you train Rosa and others that when we haven't heard back from somebody, this is the voice message we send, right? And so you don't have to say, hey, Jim. You can say, hey, I know that you're probably, tying up some loose ends. Like, you can just keep it pretty vague. Tying up loose ends for the business year, or tying up loose ends in whatever it is they do, the industry that they do. I really appreciate that. However, I know that, and then what are the biggest outcomes, right? I know that these are the things that you have said that are so important to you. And I value that so much. And to make sure that I can have time to connect with you, we're going to need to find a time in the calendar. Sometimes, Gary, I will even say, does next Wednesday at 3 o'clock work for you? And send that to 10 people. Right? Now, my weakness is I will over customize. So this is why I'm actually sharing that that's not sustainable. Right? However, I tend to do it. It drives my team crazy because I always will, I reach out to my people. I remember everything. I keep after. I remember their dog's name, everything. If that's not sustainable for you, be careful, because you may do it this time and it works well, and then next time you don't have a system. Okay, but if you're still in your testing phase, but I would do that because, again, your voice carries the frequency. You have so much power and authority in it. Gives you the opportunity to plan ahead of time, right? So that you can think out what you want to say and send it to him. Then Rosa can then from there send it, and then she can do that determining, to have that, to get him on the calendar. Now, next Wednesday is Christmas, but something like, because again, I want everyone to understand that people will use Christmas as an excuse. But a business owner, like in the situation you have, that is trouble with like team, and they're stressed out and the people aren't purposeful and they want to make more money, they are thinking about that. They're not thinking about getting red pajamas. And so when you show up that you care about that more than wrapping presents or washing dishes, he trusts you. So
Okay.
it's again, that's again how I do business. That's not for everybody. I know lots of people who have already shut down 2 weeks ago, and they're not going to show up till the middle of January. I'm not like that, because I know that if I stay in and help you guys build momentum, you're going to have clients and cash flow, and you're going to have a great holiday, but it's also because you're doing the seeds and you're booking the calls. So I would still aim for getting it on the calendar this week. Like book, say, I just say, I just happen to have Friday at 2. Could we make it work? And if he says no, say, well, I'm Monday morning at 9 a.m. That will show him that you are obsessing on the problems he has. They're not going to go to somebody else that obsesses. If you're obsessing on, and this is for everyone, if you obsess on the problems your client has, they're not going anywhere else. Because that know, like, and trust, and to me, trust is huge in this industry. That, you're saying to him that you're going to be there and you're on top of it. Like, he's probably bogged down. He's got like paperwork. He's got a list from the whatever, his wife. He's supposed to go get, all these things are happening. So if you show up and say those things to him, he's going to go, I'm not working with anyone else. Because no one else is showing up at Christmas time to say, oh, by the way, I'm here to obsess on your problem. Amen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet
Appreciate you.
Yes. Well, let us know how it all goes. And if there's anything I can do to serve you, reach out and let me know. And I want to help you. Same with Tiffany. I want to help you guys close these sales, and I'm here for you. Okay. We're just about near the end of time. Is there anyone else who has something that's pressing? Hillary, hi, sweetheart. I see you. Is there anything you need some help with?
Yeah, I mean, I am, I'm in this beginning stages, 2 things, and I know we can't get to both of them, or maybe even one of them, but I want to share them. One, really struggling on how to show up as a business coach now on my feed. I've done it for 10 years as a health coach, and I know the mindset stuff is there, but I'm kind of in the chaotic mind does nothing frozen stage, and I find myself posting less, which I do not like. And then 2, lots of conversations getting started with all that Pepper is bringing in. I'm a very rigid person, so I'm running Pepper and doing the things, but I'm not confident yet on these conversations when they're like, what do you do? How do you help people? I'm like in Chat GPT talking my words and saying, make it sound better. And I still don't like what it says. And I still don't like that I'm using Chat GPT for that, because it should come from my heart. Just all the struggles of having those conversations. And of course, I expect it to be this level immediately. And I know I've got to do it messy, but I want to be better than I am right now, really.
So first of all, I'm very proud of you. You're exactly where you need to be. And this is why most people don't ever become the 3%, is they can't handle how this feels when you're leaving 97. I would write a note to yourself, I am leaving the 97%. This is what it feels like leaving the 97%. It should feel completely painful, because you're leaning into a person you haven't yet become, and you're putting more, I call it heavenly stock. You're putting heavenly stock in this person you haven't even become yet, and you're writing in the present tense as though you've already done it.
Yes.
And so every demon from hell gets assigned some mental real estate.
It's happening.
to try to take you out. So I want you to know, and I'm normalizing it, you're exactly where you need to be. And anyone else who's going through that, this is awesome. You are brave and you are willing and you're actually going to make it if you don't stop. And you just keep pressing in and keep pressing in and keep doing it badly and keep getting it wrong and keep feeling embarrassed and keep responding to chats like a robot and not feeling like you. And you got to go through this messy. That's why I call it the Valley of Suck. I didn't dress it up. Like other people may call it other things. I call it the Valley of Suck because you're leaving. You have uninformed optimism. Okay. Have you seen me draw that out?
I haven't. That feels.
Does that feel right? You're leaving the place of uninformed optimism. So here you are. You are up here. You join BTI, which is you're actually signing up to leave 97. Right? So you have uninformed optimism. Like, la-di-da. God's called me to this. It's going to be great. I'm going to do amazing things. It's so awesome. Then you start implementing and you go, wow, I have a lot of skills that I don't have these skills.
Yes.
And you start to go through it. So then you get to informed pessimism. And you go, I suck.
Yes.
My content sucks.
Yes.
The way I used to write sucks. My video sucks. Everything sucks. My sales process sucks. I don't even know how to do any of these things. But the good news is, everyone write this down. You can master any of the skills that I'm teaching you in 7 hours or less. So 7 hours of strategy calls, 7 hours of triage calls. Now that's 28 triage calls, 7 hours of writing content, 7 hours of interviews with your avatar, 7 hours, right? And you will eventually be up here doing the thing and you will be confident and you will be competent. But you've got to go through the Valley of Suck and not disqualify yourself. You will be tempted to disqualify yourself. Why do you think it's called the 3%? And why do you think it's called the 97%? Because no freaking person in 97% land wants to leave the comfort of their job, the comfort of their, yeah, it really does suck, but it's still $4,000 a month. Yeah, it sucks. I can't go anywhere and I can't do anything I want. I never get to see my kids' recitals and I can't go to soccer practice and I don't get to work out in the morning. And actually, I'm missing most of my workouts because I got to be a slave to my job. Most people are willing to live in Egypt the rest of their lives.
I'm not.
You're not. So you're exactly where you need to be. And I want to normalize it for you. I'm not going to dress it up. I'm not going to put a pretty bow on it because it'll make you feel more frustrated. But I want you to know you're exactly where. So you lean in. You say, I help. You don't say, oh, well, I'm kind of thinking about one day when I grow up, I'm going to wear. No. You say, I help. I help kingdom business leaders do X, Y, Z so that then they can. And you say it. I help, Tiffany, uncluttered your life so that you can live the dream life in your mind, not just in your house. Say it in the present, because the more you say it in the present, your brain, right, your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and what's not reality. But it is reality because you are doing it. You just haven't told people and you haven't said, this is what I'm getting paid for it. You did it for free. Now you're being paid. Right? So you're leaving that land. So in this land, you've got to master all the skill sets. You're going to write, and it's going to seem a little, and it's okay to use ChatGPT. Right? Again, ChatGPT, in my opinion, needs to be used for, and my pen is not cooperating. Okay, whatever. ChatGPT needs to be used for taking what already is yours. So you want to be clear on who you serve and the problems you solve. And ChatGPT will get better and better at figuring out what you do and who you are, and will be able to help you. It's still not very creative or interesting, in my opinion. So there's always going to need to be some tweaks that you need to make. But at this point, quantity is good for you. Do the dirty reps. the 40 people added to your group, the 50 people a day, the post in 10 groups, respond throughout the day. You know, every day you're off work, responding to people, connecting with people, start the chats, do 30, 40, 50, 100 chats. Not all at once, you'll get blocked. But do the chats, do the dirty reps, see it as, you know, doing the plank for 10 seconds and 30 seconds and then 2 minutes and 3 minutes. And right, it's like these you increase your capacity. You're increasing, you already have it, Hillary, but it's going to feel more comfortable, just like when you work out, it's more comfortable to go back to, okay, I don't want to do single leg squats because I'm better at I'll just do the double. No, these are single leg squats in the business world. Go to the harder part for you, whatever that is, that's more of a challenge. So you're exactly where you need to be. Just eat it and drink it as fast as you can.
Okay.
The problem people make is they go, oh, I'll just make more excuses and I'll spiritualize this and I'll talk about God has me in a waiting season and all this nonsense. Instead of going, this is tough. I'm in the valley of suck. I've got to master all skills, right? Like I don't play the guitar. If I had to play the guitar, I'd have to cut off my fingernails. Number one, that would suck. I'd have to learn how to be really bad at something. And most people don't want to go through it. You've signed up and said, no, I am leaving my job. I'm going to be making $1 million a year this next year. I am going to get to 50K and get to 15K months so that I can be with Coach Sheila, Coach Heaven, when she goes to Mexico and when she goes to Las Cabos in July and when she's doing that big event in Florida. I want to be one of the speakers. Your brain goes there, Hillary. So talk in the present tense. I have a feeling you may be still saying I am going to instead of I am.
100%. I am talking that way.
Right? So write it all out. Like Christian and I, we say our vision out loud. Is like today we didn't say it because I got up super early and went to the gym, but most days, even real early, about crack of dawn, like 5 a.m. I'll be having my coffee. Christian reads our vision for our family, our bloodline, our business, right? Like, and I want to give away $1 billion. That, like, I shake when I say that. Of course I do. I say all these things about you guys and your families and breaking off the generational curses off your bloodline. You should feel rattled. It should feel a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But say it in the present tense, okay? Everyone say it in the present tense. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. And you just keep doing and you keep doing and you keep becoming and you keep learning and you keep unlearning by doing the next right thing. And when it's not working for you, it's working on you. And you become and you become and you become. And all of a sudden you look up and you go, I have to change my I am statement because I've already done that. But you got to hang your hat on that. If you don't hang your hat on that being real, you won't get there. Does that help, Hillary?
That helps exactly what I needed. Yes.
And we are at the top of the hour. I so want to keep going with you guys. I love you, but I know that everybody's got time and got your next thing going. If there's anything super urgent, but otherwise I know we got Hillary, Lori, yes.
Very fast.
Yeah, of course.
Isn't it super important, though, to also state where you are? And so for Hillary, it's saying, I loved being a health coach. I loved, and I learned so much that I want to help other women in their business because I felt it. And so use your story because you are becoming. You are in the becoming process. And I think we don't talk about how we're becoming enough so that it is mainstream okay. That's my rant. But I think we hide it until we're way up here instead of saying, today, man, I'd like to go back to being a health coach because wow, it was the comfort zone. Talk about it. I had to say it, otherwise I was gonna well up here. So, so thank you.
Yes, which is it's so good, and I'm glad, but at the same time, we want to be so careful that because we don't want to dwell on and stay back into things, right? Because our body wants the comfort zone. Our body like doesn't want, like my class I go to every morning. It's like it's so intense and so hot and it's so hard, and then every time she's like, "Okay, we're going to whatever, go even more." Our bodies don't want that. Our mind doesn't want it. Our bank account doesn't want it. Our friends don't want it. Our children don't want it, but we really want it. So it's just like you've been able to overcome so many things. So just see it that way, Hillary, that you've been able to overcome and get into that next level in fitness, next level with your marriage, next level with your kids. Like this is your next area. And for all of you, I'm just going to be really honest because, some of you are, writing coaches, publishers, authors, wealth coaches, relationship coaches, fitness coaches. But once you have been taught and you go through and you learn how, and I help you to scale to 1 million, you'll become a business coach too. Are you hearing me? Because you'll go, wait a second, if I can do this in organizing homes and scale to 1 million, I have now learned the skill set to be able to actually teach people how to do this. So begin to say it in the present as though like I am. You can have conversations and give thanks to, and I'm just going to read this to close out, guys, because this is something I wrote like years and years ago. I hope it's the right thing that I don't have the absolute. Thank you so much, Hillary. The wrong thing. All right. Hopefully it's not the wrong one. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. To my past, I say thank you for your contribution to who I am today. And now I let you go. To my future self, I welcome you. I commit to you today that I will step fully into that calling without compromise, without regret, without one foot in the past. I choose to welcome this day. I choose to be fully present to what I think and what I feel and what I do. What I change today is a delicious seed I sow into my future self. Without reservation, I am all in. I won't shrink back. I won't hide. I won't play small anymore. I know that playing big means that not everyone will love me or even like me. I accept that I'll be misunderstood and even rejected. I won't allow the praise of my past to dictate the direction of my future. I also won't allow the criticism from those who do not understand my calling to deter me. I let all people pleasing go now. I won't allow my inner critic to shut down my inner mentor. I choose to listen to my inner mentor now, to be encouraged by her, to be reminded by her that being in the arena means living bold, living free, living a life full on, in territories unknown and untraveled, on a land within the tapestry of my own heart. I bravely step into the unknown now. I embrace my inner circle of friends, of those incredible world changers who I'm privileged to watch their journey unfold. I choose to connect with my tribe because I'm a game changer to put them on their path. I accept the mantle of my life to be transformed and to transform the world around me, one connection at a time, making everyone's life I touch feel like wildfire, strengthened and empowered, able to do their destiny, called and created for more, giving God all the glory. I'll make sure we get this posted in BTI so you guys have all that language and verbiage.
Yes,
That's what I wrote to
Kevin.
myself.
Yes, thank you
Come
so much
on.
for that.
I love you guys. I'm glad you like that. And that was me speaking to my former self years ago. I love you guys. Have an amazing, incredible Christmas. Know we are here for you. So reach out if you need help. If you have a close and you're like, I need to navigate this and how the verbiage, the team will direct you in the best place to go. But from my heart and our home to yours, we raise a glass and we give you cheers for all the great things that you've done. And I so look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. So love you so much. Please reach out if you need any help at all. We're here for you. And give hugs to your family from all of us. Know that you guys are a treasure and you're set apart for this. And don't allow anything to come into that space that you have created for your future self. Love you so much. Say goodbye to everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Love you all.
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Blessings.
Blessings, everyone. Bye for now.